Let me gather myself. Well, good evening, everyone. If you're new, the topic, the touchstone is a non-duality idea, and that is basically there's an assumption, and in this case, it's based on fact, that you are what you're looking for. Yeah, not with any thousands of requirements needed to be met, but right now, at this moment, you are what you're looking for. That's the assumption of it. So then basically that assumption doesn't get reinforced, it's just stated, and then the attention turns to the negation of duality. Yeah, so it's non-duality. So it's not, the non-duality is a negation of something. It's not, there's no thing called non-duality. But how we feel life is based on a false premise. Yeah, so duality and dualism is the sense of subject-objectness, and in our case, the experience and where we believe we're looking from is a hybrid of subject-object, really. So sometimes you're the thought about would mean you would be seen as an object, and sometimes you're the thinker, so then you're seen as the subject. Yeah. So it keeps fluctuating all day, and the sense of singularity is just based on the body identification. Yeah. So you have a story, even though the body looks completely different than the body of maybe 5 years ago or 30 years ago. We just forget all that, and we just assume we've been this long-lasting, independent, separate entity. It's a pretty flimsy story, really, if you look at it. So, but so it's just a negation. It's not a denial. A denial would come out of the mental state trying to deny the mental state. That doesn't go anywhere. But it's a negation of the assumption of the mental state. And if that sort of lands and something starts clicking, you'll get a sense of what you are by the recognition of what you're not. Yeah? Because you can't see what you are, obviously, because you're the seeing of everything else. Yeah? You can't hear what you are because you're the hearing of everything else. So this is the dilemma, because we feel, in a weird way, we look at spirituality like, arriving at a store to buy a pair of pants. We think that we can do ourselves and get ourselves a pair of pants. And it's true, because you're not a pair of pants. So you can get it, and you can probably do yourself to the store and get it by paying some money. But you can't apply that to what you are, because, and this is the dilemma, the applying that modality to what you are is the blindness to what you are, let's say. Yeah. Now, most people wouldn't think so, because there's a lot of investment in looking for what you are in certain circles, like spirituality. But the looking for what you are as what you're not is the blindness to what you are. Yeah, it's the act of being blind. There's not a real blindness, but there's a seeming blindness. So the Course in Miracles says a nice statement. It says that, firm in faith in being something else, that's something else, being that something else that the head has presented, basically, you're in the active denial of what you are. Now, who the hell would say, coming in, if we had a door at the Zoom, and you had to have you had to answer a question, and the question was, are you in the active denial of what you are? No one would probably say that. But firm in faith in what you're not is the active denial of what you are in this dualistic event. Yeah? So, by seeing, hey, I may not be that, you stop being firm in faith in that something else. And then that faith may go somewhere else. And maybe you'll have faith in what you are, and that faith will be reinforced by seeing what you're not. Yeah, you'll see the activities that used to imply you, and the assumptions that apply you, and all of these things that we felt we've taken to be solid ground, and we don't look down from it, we look from it at everything else. Well, you start seeing the selfing, I feel. This, I like the term selfing. So you see the mental processes and you see, uh, let's say, the basic narrative. And if you have any respect for certain teachers, there's a great old teacher from Chinese Zen called Huang Po. And Huang Po stated very clearly whatever can be perceived can't be perceiving. All right? So take that and compare it with the narrative that we're hearing all day. What we're hearing all day is that which can be perceived. This body is what's perceiving. That's the story. Yeah. So he's saying the exact opposite is true. So you just apply it. Let the message land and see what happens. You know, certain cards that you thought were essential will be pulled out of the deck. Yeah. And then you'll start seeing a lot of jokers in there. And you'll see that you're the butt of the joke. And you're not, which is beautiful. So you can laugh at all the drama and all the longing and all the failing of arriving at where you already are, and it sort of becomes a comedy pageant in a way. And I mean, I wouldn't call myself a spiritual seeker by any means because I don't do any seeking. So I don't feel like I have any traces of spiritual seeking in my blood. It's 0.00000. And I feel that's incredibly successful. I mean, that's the real success, is freed from the need to be liberated is the success. Yeah. Yeah. And so I thought it was important because I first heard non-duality presented as an affirmation and a lot of describing the indescribable, and the only way I could match that was with another concept. Yeah. All the while, unbeknownst, there was a placing of a mental idea ahead of what I call me, and so every message I heard and being claimed by this mental idea got neutered. Yeah. So I could have sat for 800 years and heard I'm a lion, being a lion, but being obsessed in the sheep programming, I'm going to hear it as a sheep. It doesn't matter if I'm a lion or not. It's the hearing of it. How am I hearing the message I'm a lion? If I'm hearing the message I'm a lion as a lion, it doesn't take much. You may enjoy hearing the message you're a lion, but you're a lion. It becomes obvious. But if you hear the message through the sheep programming, it turns into I can become like a lion. That's not the message. Yeah. The message is you're a lion. And there's no need, because it would take some time, probably a lot of time, to transform the sheep into a lion. So, and you know, the essence of what I am, or what we all are, I feel, is not of time. Yeah. So there's no tick tock, tick tock, tick tock in the arriving of where you already are. It's just none of that doesn't seem to hold. So I feel it's most important to question the sheep programming and maybe get an understanding of how the mental state works, and hopefully see it as mechanical, like you haven't been doing it. You're not doing it. You're not doing the selfing. There's selfing that implies there's a one, yeah? And then when the implying of the one works, your narrative is I'm doing the selfing. So you just see it. You have an understanding of what you're not. You don't need a huge amount of understanding, just enough to trigger a questioning of which wasn't questioned before. Yeah? Really putting a foot down and seeing if this floor of assumption is really solid. And if it isn't, there's going to be revelations, yeah? Not to you, but about you, yeah? And you're going to get a sense it's not you. And what happens? There's like a migration of interest and attention from this mental preoccupation, and you'll find out where they go, yeah? You'll find out where the birds of interest and attention go when they're relieved of the bondage of self. You'll see. It'll probably be your daily case of being enriched by the interest and attention, not enslaved by the interest and attention. Yeah. So, thanks.
Before I ask if people want to raise their hands, Izzy, is that you on iPhone? I'm checking with you by chat.
Let them all in.
Well, they've been in, but I have to boot them if they don't respond. And also, Chris, I asked you by chat if we had met before. Chris S. Okay, well, I'm going to be monitoring them. So
I think I know Chris from East Coast, and now he's living in Seattle or Portland, maybe.
Chris S.
I think so. I could be wrong, but
okay. Well, anyway, does anybody want to raise their hands?
let's cherish this moment. No hands raised.
Oh, and Eric, I'm going to rename you.
Thank you.
Oh, you're driving again. Sandra raised her hand.
There she is. Thus spoke Sandra.
Oh, there.
The nicest way to put a question is silently. That's great.
Hello, hello. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, now?
Yep.
Is it now? Or can you hear me
Yes.
now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Great. Good. Paul, I was always wondering who is hearing the message? You told the lion is hearing the message, and by me always comes when I hear that the feeling or connected with the thought, need the lion to hear the message. Is the lion not always the lion?
Yes, but the message is you're not a sheep.
Yes, yes, but is the lion not always aware of it? So who is hearing the message?
Well, seemingly not in time, is it? And seemingly in time, it can appear that it has forgotten. Yes.
Yeah, but who is in the time cannot be the lion.
Exactly, but tell that to the lion.
I'm asking you.
We use the lion and the sheep just to get something across. There's not really a lion. Yeah.
Yes,
We're just,
yes,
yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So basically, it's sort of like Huang Po would say, you can't use the Buddha to seek the Buddha. So when we're sending the message, so how could the Buddha ever seek the Buddha? Yeah, you would think that the Buddha would know completely that it's a Buddha, but the Buddha can fool himself or itself, yeah, in the dreaming.
Yeah, permanent.
So now the Buddha takes itself to be a Paul, and Paul, without knowing it, is using Buddha to seek the Buddha. And that's why I feel Huang Po sent out that message. Yeah. Yeah?
Yes, yes, something is hearing that. Something receives it, the message. And I have no idea what's that. This is what I want to say.
Well, yeah, exactly. But we're using, like in a place of, cutouts. We're using cutouts to show something, yes. But obviously, you're not a lion. You know what I mean? We're just.
Yes, I'm not the lion, no.
No, we're in a.
That's just, yeah.
Yeah, we're using it as a imagery, yeah. Hopefully
Yes,
with
yes.
something else that gets triggered, Not that you go, I'm a lion, but you go, you just realize you're not the sheep, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a mystery. Okay.
Well, yeah. Far out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Far out.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's not much demanded. You just have to start seeing what you're not. Because if you don't, you'll be looking for what you are. Yeah.
yeah,
Obviously.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
and if you are that which you're looking for, that's the blindness to it. Yeah.
Yes, yes, I want just to share next thing. Um, Years ago, when I was in Germany and on meeting with Tony Parsons, who came regularly to Germany, when I heard just one sentence on the beginning, this is it, something shifted inside and there was no more questions. There was nothing there actually.
Yeah.
and another times I hear the message, and this shift does not happen. I want to say this with the Tony Parsons did not last permanently, did not. Something came back into the contraction after a while. And that contraction, I can see it, and I saw it as in the normal life, like permanent contraction in the background, like the undercurrent water. And now and then it's happening. What is happening now with you is like feels like more profound.
Definitely.
Yeah. Um, Awakening, that something cannot go more to sleep as before.
Yeah. Yeah.
What happens? So, yeah, that's what I want to share and to thank you.
Thank you, honey. Yeah. Sometimes a shift doesn't stay a shift. It shifts and then that becomes the new norm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. It's almost as if everything just gets lifted up. Everything is looking like it did, but so there's a whole vague feeling of something like a
Yeah.
lightness. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
thanks,
My
honey.
God.
I'm always happy to see you. You're
Same,
out deep
same.
Indian sadhu.
Yeah, yes, 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 yes. Last time when we talked about Virupaksha cave, this is a cave where Ramana Maharishi spent 7 years meditating. So I went there and it was, and it's still serious here, lockdown, but it was in that time also lockdown. And it was closed, or ashram was closed, caves were closed. So I sat there in front, it does not matter, it was closed. I sat in front of the steps of that cave, in front of the gate. And after a while, maybe 15 minutes later, someone came, the watchman, and let me in.
Mm.
And it was incredible, you know. So I thought, it's like, uh, you gave me impulse to go there, and things happen.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that was like a nuclear reactor in there.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that was good. You didn't need to sit there long. No. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
happy. I was happy to go where he, that you could check out the room where he sort of left
yeah,
from. Yeah, I
yeah.
have. I love the feeling of honor or deep respect. It's great.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great,
it's
honey.
something, yeah, out of the world. Okay, thank you again.
Yep. Thank you, honey. Yep.
Mm.
Thank you, Sanda. By chat, we've got Monica and then Gary by raised hand. Go ahead, Monica.
Hi there. Yeah, hi, Paul. I just wanted to say thank you because watching your videos, I've gotten a lot out of them. I did experience, I've experienced a shift long before I heard of you. I'm sorry, but and it didn't stick around. And I know you've talked about, well, people say, well, how do you make the shift stick? And it didn't happen for me. And it was listening to you that I realized that, yeah, I have been traveling much, much lighter throughout my life now. I didn't recognize it at the time. And I've noticed there'll be times where I'm at work or I'm doing housework or something. And the blah 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 in your head, that constant talk just shuts off, and the like you said, the action figure just sort of fades away, and there's this massive awareness that comes out. And it's interesting because there is nothing that sticks around, but this thing sort of shifts in and out for me, which is really nice. And I've also found, and I'm not too sure, maybe something that you said, something that also helps me is when there's there's a lot of noise in my head, and I'll stop and I'll say, okay, what was I thinking 5 minutes ago, or what was I thinking half an hour ago? I can never remember. And the funny thing is that I've been meaning to join this in your chat for a while, and every time it's like, uh, it's almost like it's not. No offense to you, but it's not hugely important, and it just sort of fades in the background, and
Yeah.
it's such a wonderful lightness. Nothing is hugely serious anymore because it just doesn't stick around. Even epiphanies that I've had, I'll think, oh my God, this is so fantastic. 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, it's gone. I have no idea where it goes, but it's gone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I just wanted to say thank you, because that was you helped me with that, traveling, realizing that I have been traveling lighter, and I honestly didn't know it. But
Yeah. Yeah. Because we tend to, you know, aim at the stars, but it's the shoes we're wearing that have a bigger role to play.
mhm.
Yeah. So, yeah. And that I like that description. Things like the etch a sketch just gets shook, and then all those severely drawn lines just disappear, and then new ones arise. But see, there is that one constant, which is us. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So all that going and coming and going lends itself to the intimacy of what we are. You learn about what we are by recognizing what we're not. You see things coming and going, but you don't come and go. Yeah.
Mhm.
All this stuff. That's how there's in duality, that's how there's a triggering of an intimacy, that you get to sense what you are. You can't see it, hear it, feel it, taste it, touch it, but you sense it by really recognizing it's what it's not. It's not something that was born and dies. It's not something that comes and goes. It's not something that goes up and down. It's just, yeah. So uh, I really get that. I like that. I like that little trick. Yeah, yeah. You notice that pretty much the day has been completely vacant, really. I so I really, if I was going to write what happened, I have no idea really. Just things went from one to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other. It's like basically every day you have different numbers of dominoes. Yeah. So one, you have 5 dominoes. Then there's a lot of pause, and some there's 40 dominoes. But it's the same. One begets the other, gets the other, gets the other, gets the other. Yeah. There's no real cause or nothing. It's just all jumbled up. Yeah, it's nice, and it's forgettable, really. That's the great news. That which we are isn't, but mostly what's going on is forgettable, really. It's cool. Yeah, thanks, Monica. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Monica, nice to meet you.
Yes.
And back from vacation, Gary.
Yeah, thanks for letting me in, Mike, even though I've been gone for a couple weeks. I appreciate that.
We had someone else take your Zoom box.
Somebody else took my box in the corner,
Yeah,
you
we had
mean?
another Gary C.
Oh, sure.
Sorry.
Oh, well. Well, okay, bye. It's been great.
No,
I
there's only none Gary C. There's only one Gary C.
That's just the right number. Just the right number. So I just going to appreciate something that you helped me with. The message helped me with is that, like, I sit down and meditate often. You know, my wife and I like to sit quiet. But in my past, I've always worked at meditation. Like, I've got to get quiet. I've got to be still. I've got to be more something. And since hearing your message, the bottom kind of dropped out of that effort to be more, because it already is. So who's trying to be more than? I'm not sure I can put words to it, but it just took the bottom out of that effort to meditate more, better, harder. There isn't anything that's going to make that different. So it really makes meditation a lot easier. There's nothing to do because it's already done. It's already accomplished, if you will, and I appreciate that because my meditations were hard work. I had to really, and I've heard your stories about some of the hardworking meditations that Paul did in the past. So anyway, I'm just appreciating the ease of meditation that is afforded by this message.
Oh, great, Gary. Always happy to see you. It reminds me of a story I usually tell. When I was living in Australia, when I first got there, we knew someone who was quite well off from his family, and he had a huge property, and we were renting like a duplex there. You know, most all grass, just all. And every day at 5:30 he wanted to meditate, so he would have like this golf cart and he'd drive around to everyone that was on the property around 5:15, incredibly anxious and shit, saying you can't make any noise starting at 5:30. So he was totally stressed out in the in trying to plan the quiet time. You see, I saw something very interesting in that because he was stressed out. That so I said, "Isn't why does peace start at 5:30? You know, I'd hope he'll be around most of the time." So yeah, that's great. Yeah,
Yeah, the other story you told that's good about that is you said somebody said if you can't meditate on a corner in New York City, then it's not meditation. That one stuck with me too. It's like,
yeah,
wow.
that's good. And in a way, well, yeah. And some people don't have the ability to sit down.
Mm,
To have to be sort of defined by one word that you're not very good at. I would much rather have a broader highway. And if you like walking around nature or looking at a stream or checking out the leaves on a tree, all that falls in the category of sort of meditation in a way. Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't like when words starts sort of parsing things out, you know, making it this or that. Yeah, we have that in recovery because there's a statement on one of the steps near the end of the process, the 11th step, where it says, you know, sort through, and then they use the word prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with that power, right? So the real intention is to allow that conscious contact to improve. But they get suggested prayer and meditation, but they're not the only way for that event of improving one's contact with that which is always available can play out, you know? And so the head, being such a small little myopic thing, will shrink every way you could improve conscious contact to prayer meditation, and then one of them's out the window because you're very anxious, so you can't sit still. So now all you got is prayer. That's insane, eh? Because it doesn't say that. It says the improving one's conscious contact. How do you do that? Losing interest in the improving of one's conscious contact. That's how you improve the conscious contact. Because you are that conscious contact right now, and seeking to improve it is a denial of that. Yes, so it's tricky. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when that gets worked out, hey, I stop and chill out a lot of times. I don't mark it on my meditation diary or anything. It's appropriate. The wind's blowing a certain way. I can smell the jasmine. The hummingbird appears. I stop and check it out. Yeah. Yeah. All the problems with suggestions and stuff is how they're heard. Yeah. So there can be a suggestion, and how the mental state can hear it as a command. Another thing I have to do. Yeah. But it's not the case. Like when people would see, let's say, a saint, and the saint acted sort of strangely, let's say. So the people believed that if they did what the saint did, it would lead them to arrive at where the saint is. As if the saint did that shit to arrive somewhere, where actually they're expressions of where he already is. Yeah? And they're unique. They're not meant to turn into a path. They're a unique expression of that space. Yeah? And this is what happens. The head changes everything around. And then we live in a world where the cart is in front of the horse. Seemingly, it's appearing to us that's the case, but it isn't the case. That's the great news. You don't have to convince the horse to get in front. It already and always has been in front. Yeah? Yeah? You just have to realize you're not the cart, in a sense. Yeah? When you're identified as the cart, even though the horse is in front of you, in the mental realm, you're in front of the horse. Yeah, you're the primary point, which is false. So once that's corrected, you see the horse as where it's always been and always is and always will be. Yeah, and now things get clearer because instead of going backwards, you're going. You're on the line. It's sort of, because see, the mental state, as we talk about in selfing, is implying something that's produced after an event, yeah, like seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, touching, doing, yeah. The idea of the you, that's the doer of it, is produced after that event, yeah. The event is claimed to and then the mental state infers that there's a someone who's doing the doing. And now the emphasis goes on the doer, yeah? The doing becomes subordinate, yet it's actually the horse in front of the cart. But now the cart is in front of the horse. Now the doer is the dominant emphasis. Though the doer comes after the doing. Yeah? So you can go into thousands of examples, but the pattern is where is the seeing, yeah? You see the pattern of it. Yeah? there's a little move where that which comes after, which is the idea of Paul being the doer, the feeler, the thinker, the seer, the hearer, the haver, and pictured as a body or as an object that's doing, seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, touching. Yeah, that is what comes after is implied to be before. Yeah, so now a doing happens, and the doer is implied, and now the doer thinks it did all the doing. Yeah, that is this. That's the physics equation. Yes, in the mental state with this little heist, it's that which comes after is presupposed to be before. That's the explanation for almost everything. Yeah, that's why. Let's have the horse in front of the cart. Let's know that, because it's a fact anyway. Yeah, and maybe if I don't take myself to be that which is after, I'll have a very strong sense of that which is before, which is us. Yeah, which is what we are. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't have a very strong sense of the before if you're taking that which comes after as the before. You try to have that sense of the before as the after. This is the cryptic butt of the joke that non-duality is trying to get us to have a feeling of. Yeah? Yes? If that which is after is implied to be before, there's got to be a seeming ignorance to that which is before, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Or there would be no way that story of that which is after being before could sustain itself. That's why this is dreaming. It's not real. It can sustain this idea for 70, 80 years maybe, with tons of gaps when it can't pull it off. But what happens is it just pastes over those gaps and just keeps feeding you an interpretation of a life of verbing. Yet the interpretation is based on noun. I mean, you can't be more diametrically opposite, which is duality, than that. So that's what we see. Yeah, we see activities because we're not in activity. Yeah, that's why we can see it. Yeah, we're the seeing. We're that, whatever you want to call it, awareness. I like the word seeing better. Because awareness sounds like a thing. If you were saying awareing, I would like it better, because I feel everything here is verbing. Yeah, I don't feel there's a noun verbing. I feel there's verbing, and then there's an interpretation of the verbing that emphasizes a noun. Yeah, I'm not in there trying to change that, because that would be a noun trying to change the fucking interpretation of a noun. I'm just seeing it. Yeah. If you try to change it as the noun, that's more nouning. Yeah? You don't see it? That's why you can't get out of what you're not in. When you try to get out of what you're not in, you're in, so to speak. Yeah?
Yeah.
This is the warning. If you ever hear the warnings that are presented in non-duality, they're not presented in other takes. They're not. It's a very cryptic thing, and you're always seen as the butt of the joke. It's like you hear that there's that great party, and as soon as you arrive there, it sucks. There's an implying of something there. When we show up as that which is after, the before has to seemingly be forgotten. It's absurd to think that that which is coming after is going to remember the before. All the attempts of remembering the before is remembering the after. Yeah? That's the fundamental thing that aligns with the statement of, the presupposing a non-existent thing, wanting to get salvation for the non-existent thing. And if that's the case, your spiritual practices themselves are reinforcing the non-existent thing. How can they destroy it? It's all that same line of logic, yeah?
Yeah.
Almost everything we say here is based from that same line of logic. That's why negation is, in a way, the only way. Because what happens with affirming the truth as the false just reinforces the false. Yeah? So this is about just seeing what we're not, and that's that. You know, see how the cards fall after that. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
where it's not necessary because you are what you're looking for to look for it. Truly, yeah. Maybe that's the essential obscuring agent is using what you're looking for to look for itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
A 30-day get spiritual healthy program doesn't have these statements in it. They don't have that logic. They have a logic that accepts the assumption that's false and tries to improve that assumption that's false. And they call some of those improvements spirituality. Yeah. Because actually, it's a better business plan because if it was called something else, you may want to demand a return. But here, if it's spirituality, it could take lifetimes. Yeah. They don't need any customer service. It's all on you while you're failing. You just haven't done enough. Yeah, it's amazing. It's just an incredible system. It's always the self-centeredness just turns on itself. It never sees that the system it's relying on has failed, or the system that it's taking itself to be has failed. Yeah. So it just keeps can't get out of self, but it keeps on fucking trying. Yeah. And there's a lot of, can you imagine if I had a furniture store and I didn't send the couch, and when the person's complained, I could say it could take lifetimes. I'd be out of business like fucking fast. But spiritual business it's on you. You're fucking it up, obviously. Look at me. I arrived there. They arrived there. They paid more money than you, so maybe it has to do with the money. I don't know. Mostly the inner circles have cash in most cases, not the poor ones. So I don't know. So this is that. It says, your own looking is the problem. What? Yeah, because it's how you're looking. You're looking from what you're not, and therefore you're never going to see what you are, ever. Because you are what's looking. Yeah. That's the fundamental. You walk in. See, I think they screwed with us that little Zen statement, which is first there is the mountain, then there is no mountain, then there's the mountain again. I think someone forgot the first part, which is first there is no mountain, then there's a mountain, then there's no mountain sometimes when you have experiences, but the mountain always shows up again. But you won't take it to be real if you're looking at it from there is no mountain. If you're looking at it from being a mountain and then disappearing, it's always going to show back up. That's dualistic, yes? What comes, goes. But the statement is there is no mountain. Then there's a mountain appearing to be. Then I have a great event and now the mountain there's no mountain, but then I get sort of bummed out when the mountain shows up again, inevitably. Yeah? How are you going to deal with the third appearance of the mountain? By realizing from the beginning there is no mountain. Yes?
Yes. Yes.
So. All right, Gary. Great to see you.
Thanks, Paul. Great message.
Thanks, Gary. Welcome back. JP.
Hi, Paul. Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I just wanted to share something. It's like, and it's kind of along the lines of, it's like, I found it, I lost it, I found it, I lost it, and it's kind of like this last week. I've been telling myself, or I've been identifying with this idea, I've lost it. Oh, I'm in a bad place. Oh my.
Yeah.
I've lost my connection, and it's really funny because I was talking to a sponsee and he was saying the same thing to me. And what came to me was, well, if you're aware that you lost it, then what do who's aware? you know. And the funny thing was that I could say that to him, but in that moment I couldn't see it myself, that I was doing exactly the same thing, you know. And listening, you know, listening to you, Paul, is, well, actually earlier on today already, it was already starting to happen. You know, I could see that I was telling myself that I was lost and I didn't have a connection. And I just saw that actually it's like I'm the one that's aware. And that hasn't gone anywhere,
Yeah.
right? And somehow awakening to that has made it a lot lighter to travel. And you know, this thing about the mountain that you just shared, it's like what I see is, you know, it's like when I am who I am, it's like I can see the mountain, but it's like there is no mountain,
Yes.
right? There is a mountain, but there is no mountain. I
Yes.
don't know how else to say it, but and that's what makes it so much lighter to travel. You know, it's there, but it's not there. You
Yes.
know, I'm lost, but I'm really not lost. So I just wanted to share that because it's just so freeing. You know, it's like somehow this week, it's felt like it felt like I was drowning. You know, and for a moment I forgot. You know, you're not the drowning. And yeah, I just wanted to share that. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you. So let's say, you know, there's at the same time, in timelessness, let's call it that, there is no mountain. And in time, there's the appearance of the mountain. So at the same time, yes, there is no mountain and there's an appearance of the mountain. Yeah, yeah. When you have a sense of living at that point of no mountain, you won't take the mountain so seriously because you're seeing it from there is no mountain. Even though there is, you know, and then you do your thing. And after you've traveled a lot of mountains, you realize, man, I've been traveling lighter over this mountain range coming from there is no mountain. So, yeah. Yeah, bro, I'm happy. I've been watching you. Yes, there's been you've lost interest in self, so you're gaining interest in a lot of other things, which is great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So nice to see you.
Thanks, JP. Anybody else want to raise their hand? Anu.
Anu.
Hey, Paul. I flew back to California this morning, so feeling very jet lagged from India, so I'm back home.
Where were you? Where were you? Where's your home?
I live in California near San Jose.
But where were you? Where were you?
I was in India for a
Oh,
while.
in India.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
that's a long trip.
yeah. Feel a little tired, but this is it's something you had said, or maybe I watched a video from before, where you said the brain interprets to the body,
Yes.
and so your real self will never understand those messages, right? And that was just like so. I because you said that, and I started noticing that filter. Um, Maybe that's why my thoughts have never made sense to me.
Hmm. Oh, yeah. Well, that's from the Course in Miracles. I didn't come up with that. But
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite statements because it explains a whole lot without going into great detail. It just
yeah,
says the brain interprets to the body of which it is a part.
yes,
All right,
yes.
move on. Yeah, so yeah, you know what I mean? I would think that would be a good pause, you know, if you heard that. Yes.
Yeah. So I think what it brought me to was a place of confusion, which has been the loveliest thing that has happened. I think is that I was like I'm accepting confusion that I don't understand this world in many ways, and how, the mind functions and the thoughts that keep coming up, they act because they're not mine. So
Yes.
to be in the state of confusion has been such a grace. That has helped me travel lighter for some reason. I'm able to, I was doing like a self-inquiry last week, and there's it's so clear, like, sometimes something just happens and it's just so vivid, is that there was a thought going by, and it was just like something as a recurring thought, but there was like a hook dangling from it, like an eye, and all I had to do was just, I could feel myself rising up to take ownership. And instead, I just let it go by, and the mind became like, was like in a shock. It was quiet for like a whole day, nothing.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
so I think just that whole, being in a state of confusion and accepting it, and just saying, hey, I don't understand, and and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. I've been loving these reports. It's great. Yeah. Because you can say stuff all you want, but it's really heard when feelings match, when a sense of it starts taking effect. That's really, that's, that's very, that's what communicates to me when people share. Yeah, I get a sense of the lightness they're attempting to describe. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, so great. Nice to see you, Anu. Hopefully you'll get sleep. We'll have a short meeting tonight.
Yeah. Thank you.
You need to get some rest. I'm getting dark. Should I put a light on? Ooh, wait a minute. Hi. Hi. Ah, man, it's amazing how strong these are. I'm back. The whole iPad fell, but I'm all right. These
Thank you,
attack
Anu.
forms are attacking my invulnerability. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I have a weird. All right. Well, next. Anyone else?
Anybody else want to raise their hand or in chat?
Put some light on. This is better. Nobody? Great.
Nope. Oh,
Oh. No one, Mike? Great. Let's start saying goodbye then, maybe. Yeah. And Mike, by the way, it's not a box.
it's not. What is it? A chest?
It's a chest. A beautiful chest.
Yes, it's about like a sea chest.
All right. Well, let me. Well, Mike, as always, thank you for everything. Mike does a lot of the running of ZenBitchSlap.com. Uh, I have absolutely no idea what's going on most levels. Whatever. All right. There's Judith and Kerry with an animal there. Beautiful dog. Nice to see you guys.
Good to see you.
Hawaii is. This is not the end of the visitations to Hawaii, Judith.
No, it's not.
There'll be another wave.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
preparing a place for you, Paul.
What?
I'm preparing a place for you.
I know, great. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I already have a place in your heart, which is the best.
Oh,
That
yeah.
has the best. That has the best vista.
Yeah. Oh,
I
my
see the
God.
most from there.
And my heart understands what you said completely. And my traveling is lighter. And wherefore, better lack of words, I will never be able to repay you for that, because the healing that is taking place in me And the traveling lighter is so beautiful. It's so beautiful because Judith was so heavy and the seeking heavy and the guilt heavy and the trying to get it. And now all that is subsided because my heart has heard you and it's kept you in it. Thank you.
Well, that's nice. Well, that's a nice way of ending the meeting.
Thank you so
That was
much.
good. Very nice. All right. Thank you, Judith. Yeah. We have Monica. Thank you, Monica. Yeah, I hope you come back and join the crowd. We need people like you. John K., as always, pleasure. Anu, I'm very happy always to see you, Anu. Yeah, yeah. And we got Chad. Chad, it was nice sharing some food back there, and that knife the guy gave me, Mihai, that's interesting. He had handmade knife. It was incredible. Whatever. Yeah. We have Tommy again. Thank you, Tommy, for being here. Linda S. Yes, nice to see you, Linda, as always. We got Paulette. Paulette, how are you, Paulette? You doing all right? Where are you from, Paulette? I can't hear her. But I can't hear you, Paulette, but I know. I hope to see you again. Yeah? Yeah, good. We got Taj. Nice to see you, Taj. Always like to see your happy face. Yeah? Of course, you have no face, but the happy face that's appearing.
That's true.
Gary C., as always. Yeah, very nice to see you. He used to live in a corner, but he's too bright for the corner now. Yeah. We got Heidi. Nice to meet you, Heidi. Where you from?
Hi there. Yeah, nice to
Hey.
meet you. Canada, Hamilton, Ontario.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Yes.
Yeah.
You. Yeah. Yeah, I've been watching your videos for, I guess first time I'd seen one of your videos about 5 years ago.
Mm.
Just was immersed. Yeah.
Well, we'll be coming back to Toronto and stuff. We'll be coming back there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It'll always be on the website when we finally do. I don't know when, but I used to go to Toronto a lot every year, twice a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a fondness for a lot of people there. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, Heidi, thank you. Yep, and there's Johannes. He's been with us since the beginning of the Zooms. Very wise man for that decision. Very nice to see you, Johannes. We got Jim. Nice to see you, Jim. I always like hearing you that you're above water. Sounds much better. Yeah. We got Sanda. She's outside now, roaming around. Yeah. Brandon, one of our musical geniuses of Zen Bitch Slap. Always a pleasure. Thanks for all the music. We got, I have a hard time saying this word. Elizmac. Yeah, we got close. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a Zoom name, Ellis Mac.
All right, good. Well, nice to see you.
I met you back in 2010 down in the city.
Oh, wow.
One of your Saturday meetings.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
thanks for having this.
You came to visit. That's nice. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having it.
The message hasn't changed much, has it?
Nope, still the same.
No.
I'm still listening to those old podcasts.
I know. There's nothing new in non-duality. All right, there's Stefan on Having Never Left. Fantastic. JP from Vietnam. Oh, we got Clifford from Chiang Mai. Yeah. We've got Alex, a nice friend of mine from New York. Yes, all's well? Yeah. It's nice to see you. Say hello to Sarah for me. Yeah. We got Tom. Nice to see you, Tom. Deb, you're healing up from the knee surgeries.
Yes, 2 months today.
Fantastic. Great.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking.
It can't kill you, Deb.
No, it goes on and on.
Yeah, you just
Robotic.
yeah. We got Zlatko, my main man. Yes.
Hey, Paul.
Like when it comes to the river, he's the ferryman. I've got to go to the ferryman to get to the river.
You'll be back to the other shore.
Hopefully tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Mary G, as always, nice to see you. Yes. A blessing for everyone you run into. Brahmi, one of our Indian folks. Yeah. She's, you doing okay there, hun? Yeah. Yeah. Well, our hearts are with you. Yeah? Yes, for sure. Remember, you're a lifetime member of Zen Bitch Lab. Yeah. We keep an eye on our own. A lazy eye, but an eye nonetheless. We got Mike. Nice to see you, Mike. He's horizontal. Good way of hearing the message. We got Mark V with a giant fish on the wall. There he goes. If you're thinking you're going to get this message, you might as well go fishing. Because at least you can catch a fish. George from Mr. and Mrs. Void. Always a pleasure. Yeah. Yeah. He's the event horizon. David W., our resident teacher. Very fantastic. Thank you, Dave. We got Susan H. Yes. Susan looks like a cat that ate the canary. She's got a very sense of, wisdom there. Sort of like it. Nice to see you, Susan.
Glad to be here.
We got Joel. Oh, Josh S. Oh, Josh S. He's another Aussie. Nice to see him. We got Eric from Toronto. A pleasure. Vlad, our Siberian friend. Wow. Vlad, thank you, Vlad, for the donations too. And everyone else who donates and stuff. And go to hell, everyone else who doesn't donate. How's that? No. Thank you, everybody. So we have Kaiser. Always a pleasure. You're in LA still. Good. Yeah, yeah. We got Chris S. Nice to see you, Chris. Yes. Let's see. We've got, that's Josh again. Eric, we got the same squares. Oh, Debbie M. and Alan, one of our main men. James Lebowski, Susanna W., a very lovely friend of mine from this area. Hey, thanks, everybody. What a pleasure to be in all your company. Very nice.
Thank you, Paul.
It's a privilege.
Thank you, Paul.
See you guys. I'll see you
Everybody.
or not for
Thank you, Paul.
recovery, and then Saturday for non-duality. Yeah. See ya.
Bye.
The